Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at the Geely Anger 75X version 2. We've seen this on the channel before, but a quick refresher. It's not a true X. It comes with three 4S batteries that are 260 milliamp. You get an extra canopy, rubber bands, props, stickers, some foam tape for the bottom where your battery rests. It runs these super smooth 1202 6900 kV motors. Got an F411 flight controller with a VTX that is power switchable up to 200 milliwatts, and the ESC goes up to 12 amps. And it does come in a case. But the biggest change is this new camera. It is the GL950 Pro, as it has been named, whereas it used to have the Caddx EOS 2. The first version on my scale came in at 46.6 grams, and this one comes in at 46.3 grams. Unfortunately, my battery wasn't fully charged. I think I actually let it sit too long, waiting out the rain, waiting out the wind. You know, this is a hoop machine, so I try to fly it when the wind is a little bit less, and you can probably tell that on this particular day it is less. And I'm hooked on that low sort of pod racing cruising flying. I try not to do it too much in this video. I know if you follow the channel very closely, you just saw it with the 85X. But I think what comes from this, you know, that super wide field of view, and I've got a little other footage that I'm going to show you on a more sunny day so you can get a better idea of the impact of that change in the camera from the Caddx camera into this one. But it's got that really wide field of view. I did do some dive testing, and you're going to see me do this kind of sample of a dive, and I was pleased to find out that I did not suffer yaw washout 99% of the time. I had one where I could cause it to yaw washout, and that's kind of unfair when you're trying to make yaw washout happen. As a pilot, we should really be avoiding our errors, not trying to make them. Also, I do some close proximity around the swing set. That was a comment come from the Wasp 85 video. If you didn't see that, I'll put a link down in the video description. People were concerned about being able to hit gaps with the super wide field of view. Now, it could be that I'm some sort of superhuman pilot and I'm able to do it with the super wide field of view. That's a joke. I'm just kidding there. But I just wanted to kind of give a proof of concept that you can hit wide, you can hit gaps with the super wide field of view. It's just a matter of getting used to things, you know. It might be tough at first. You might need a few packs. Also note that run time down there, that's the on time. I forgot to switch it. That's timer 1, should be timer 2. Timer 1 is your on time, that's your power on time. Timer 2 is where you actually your arm time. And so this flight will be 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and then when we flash back at the end, you get to see the ending battery voltage. And that's one other thing about this, is that it is tuned specifically for this battery. I tried some other batteries, and I found that the tune, well, it still worked just fine. Like if you have some 300s or 350s, which I think are still kind of rare, but if you have those, it will work. But you'll notice little changes in flight characteristics. You'll have a little bit more prop wash because it probably needs a little bit more D because of the extra weight. You might even need a little bit more P to make it crisp and fly and fun. But I thought the tune on this was actually better than it was on the 85X. And if you're choosing between the Wasp 85X and this one, I would kind of pick this one, except for if you live in a place that's windy most of the time. I think this flies pretty well, and I think the fact that it has prop guards and it's got that canopy that pokes out the top, so if you're one that tends to use turtle mode when you crash, this one is going to give you a little bit more prop clearance. You know, I don't suggest it, but I think with a 12 amp 4-in-1 ESC you'll be a little bit safer, and we've got some pretty small stator sized motors, so hopefully it's safer. And you see there that the 2 minutes and 50-second runtime, but as we flash back to the home screen, we see our battery voltage coming in at 3.6 volts per cell, so we could have flown a touch longer. This is one of my first flights. I think the first day I had forgotten to disable the crosshair. I can't fly, or at least I don't feel like I can fly very effectively with the crosshair. I find it distracting. I find my eyes staring at it instead of where I need to fly to. I know some people use it. I just don't. It doesn't work out well for me. But I wanted to give you a sample at least of a sunny day. We've had so many overcast and cloudy days. I thought that it's important because the big change in this is primarily the camera. So you lose some weight, which in this case in micros is a good thing, but you have a much different camera that a lot of people probably haven't seen before. And quite frankly, you know, I think the camera does pretty well in handling light for this type of camera, you know, the super light cameras. But the field of view is going to be something that most people have to decide whether they can handle it or not. Some people are all for super wide field of view, some people aren't. If you have an opportunity to try something like this, it might change your mind. I know that I said it in the Wasp 85 video that my first couple flights were like, whoa, this is a whole different experience. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the things I normally do. But I was able to come around. It just took me a few flights. I think if you went out and flew it for 2 or 3 packs in an afternoon, it might be a showstopper for you. But if you spend some time with it, you get used to these things. Again, I thought the tune on this one was better than it was on the Wasp 85. I don't have any damage to report or anything strange that happened to the machine, but I did want to give you guys an update to the V2. Geelang did send it to me and asked to give my thoughts. I like the camera. I think its light handling is okay for its, you know, size and weight. I think the coloration is pretty good. I think it gets a fair bit of fisheye. Some people really don't like that. It does not bother me. If you go back a few years in micros, we were flying this style of camera. Not this wide a field of view and probably not this crisp or good view, but this style of camera, you know, a simple lens on a simple board. We were flying these types of things a few years ago, and they were really the best cameras on the market. I think in this case, that camera has been improved, and I did try to slide down that slide, but I just couldn't pull it off. So I ended up just doing some flying around. But I wanted to show you some additional footage. I think it's valuable information. I'll have product links down in the video description. I think the motors, if you're a builder and you're looking for a 1202 size motor, I think these motors are not only hardy, but they're also very, very smooth, and a smooth motor is good for your build to keep noise out. You know, more noise that your motor generates, then the more problems you have with vibrations and tuning. So if you're a builder, I would check out those motors, and I'll link those down below. I'm also told that if you shop from Banggood and you're not maybe crazy about MakerFire, and you can now get these products through Banggood. So that's another place you can shop if you can find it. I think there may be 1 or 2 US resellers as well, and I'll try to locate the product stateside. I'm not familiar with a lot of other countries and who sells what products, but I'll put links to the product and where I can find it. And if you know of another place that I'm not linking down below, please let me know. And if you do have any other comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise about the Geelang Anger 75 V2, please let me know in the section down below. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.